In Genesis 30, the beginning of the development of the people of Israel takes place in the region of Paddan Aram, in the familial setting of Laban, Jacob's father-in-law. Here we will observe the family agreements, the conflicts between the sisters over descent, and the possession of wealth that establish the hierarchy and the future of the families. The struggle between human action, filled with errors, and the supreme grace of God, which guides history toward the fulfillment of his promises, is also shown. The chapter begins with Rachel, who, although loved, seeing that she could not give Jacob children, has in her heart envy of her sister Leah, for she had already given her husband children. Illogically, Rachel demands that Jacob give her children. This insistence from Rachel makes Jacob nervous, and he responds by saying that he was not in God's place. But Raquel, by custom, could have posterity through a substitute wife, that is, through a servant. Out of her anxiety, Rachel gave Jacob her maidservant, who soon had a son. The child will legally belong to Rachel. Rachel's maid gave birth to a boy, who was named Dan, which means, "He has judged me." For Raquel considered herself worthy of God's mercy. After her servant had a second son, Rachel named him Naphtali, which means, "My struggle." The struggles of God, in which Rachel prayed a lot to God, although her feeling was one of envy. Leah, Rachel's sister, in competition, also gives her maidservant to Jacob. Leah's maid gave birth to two sons named Gad, which means luck, fortunate, and the other son Asher, which means happy, blessed. Reuben, Leah's first son, found mandrakes in the field and brought them to his mother. It was a plant whose name is formed by the same root, called love, as the ancients attributed to it an aphrodisiac property. When Raquel, Leah's sister, saw the mandrakes, she wanted them so that she could cure her sterility. Rachel then proposed a bargain to her sister Leah. If she gave the plant, she could spend that night with Jacob. Thus it happened, and God heard Leah, causing her to bear Jacob's fifth son. This child was named Issachar, which means reward, recompense. Again, Leah bore another son, the sixth, whom she named Zebulun, which means gift. Later, she ended up giving birth to a girl named Dinah, which means the one who was judged. The mandrakes were of no use to Rachel, leaving her to beg God, the only one who could really help her. God heard Raquel's plea and made her fertile. Raquel gave birth and understood it was an act of divine mercy. Remembered by God is a term that indicates Raquel's prayer was answered. And the son of the supplication to God was named Joseph, which means God multiplies, increase of the Lord. For her faith, Rachel had another son as a gift from God. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob told Laban about the future and asked for permission to take his wives, family, and return to his land. But Laban convinced Jacob to stay, as he was profiting from his work. Jacob suggested another proposal to him, which would be made through the animals. At that time, the goats were either completely black or spotted, and the sheep were white, although they had variations. Jacob selected the goats of uncommon color and the dark-colored sheep to form his flock, keeping only the animals of indefinite color that appeared among the flock's offspring, for it would be an easy way to distinguish to whom each animal belonged. Jacob said, "My honesty will bear witness for me in the future, when you decide to check my wages." Laban accepted the proposal, and on that same day, in secret, he separated from the herds the animals of the colors Jacob wanted and sent them away. Jacob then started to make a white stripe on each animal to be able to separate the animals, turning the flock toward the striped side, which was his, and everything that was black to Laban's flock. Beside that, when the animals were weak, they stayed with Laban, and the strong ones went to Jacob. Jacob enriched himself enormously and had flocks in great quantity, as well as servants, camels, and donkeys. The chapter describes the origin of Jacob's children and the rivalry between the sisters in their quest to make themselves important to Jacob through maternity. This shows us that all families go through turbulent times, and yet, God provides his blessings. At this point, we also see that Jacob fights for his freedom from his father-in-law's exploitation, and he manages to multiply his wealth with God's supernatural help. Through this text, We can reflect on our own propensity to want to control situations and to seek shortcuts or to trust more in our tactics than in the supremacy of God. We also notice how envy can blind us, leading us to make impulsive decisions and foster disputes. The mandrakes teach us that superstitions and amulets cannot replace trust in God. Greed and injustice that sometimes occur are traps, but they also comfort us, as we notice that even when we are harmed or exploited or oppressed, God can bless us and make us prosper. Oh, we learned that we should believe in the grace of God, rather than in our own cleverness. We can even plan, but it is God who brings about the result. Only God can fulfill all the unimaginable and perfect plans He has for us. Glory to God! Did you like the content? Leave your like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more inspirational messages. Thank you for watching this video.